I didn't realize how carefully someone had mapped my routine until I broke it once. For almost a year, my days looked exactly the same. I worked at a small office downtown, 9 to 5. I parked in the same garage, took the same elevator, stopped at the same grocery store on the way home. I even sat on the same bench for a few minutes every evening to scroll on my phone before walking the last block to my apartment. It wasn't something I planned, it just happened. Nothing felt wrong until the night I left work early. I wasn't sick or anything. A meeting got canceled, and my boss told me to head out around 3. I remember feeling weirdly excited, like I'd stolen time from the day. When I got to the garage, I noticed my car's driver's side mirror was folded in. I never fold it, ever. I assumed someone brushed past it. I didn't think about it again. That evening, while cooking, I realized I was missing one of my kitchen knives. Not the expensive ones, a cheap utility knife. I figured I'd left it at work or thrown it out accidentally. I didn't dig through the trash to check. 2 days later, it happened again. I came home early, this time around 4. When I opened my apartment door, my hallway light was on. I always turn it off, always. It's muscle memory. Flip switch, lock door, leave. The apartment didn't look disturbed. No drawers open, no mess. I stood there longer than normal, listening. The place felt settled, like someone had been there, but not recently. That night, I slept badly. I kept waking up convinced I'd heard movement in the living room. Each time, everything was quiet. I told myself I was creating patterns out of nothing. The third time I came home early, I found something I couldn't explain away. My couch cushions were flipped. Not thrown, not messy, just turned over neatly, like someone had been checking underneath them. I didn't call the police. I didn't even tell anyone. Saying it out loud made it sound fake, like a bad story. Instead, I tested something. The next day, I left work at my normal time, but I didn't go home. I parked across the street from my building and waited. At 6:18 p.m., someone unlocked my front door. I was too far to see details. All I saw was the door open, then close. I sat there frozen for almost 10 minutes before I worked up the nerve to move. When I got upstairs, the door was locked again. Inside, everything looked exactly the same. No lights on, no signs of entry, except for one thing. On my coffee table was my missing knife. Clean, placed carefully, blade facing away. I installed cameras that night, one in the living room, one facing the front door, one in the hallway leading to the bedroom. I didn't connect them to Wi-Fi, I used local storage. For 2 days, nothing happened. On the third day, I left work early again. At 6:04 p.m., my phone buzzed, motion detected. I pulled over and opened the feed. The video showed my front door opening. A man stepped inside. He didn't look rushed. He didn't look nervous. He took off his shoes and lined them up against the wall. Then he walked straight to the kitchen and opened a cabinet, the one where I keep my glasses. He poured himself water. Then he sat on my couch. He didn't touch anything else. He just sat there scrolling on his phone, like he was waiting. At 6:22 p.m., he stood up, walked to the hallway, and stopped in front of the bedroom door. He didn't open it. He just stood there. At 6:29 p.m., he left. I stayed in my car until midnight. When I finally went inside, I found a sticky note on the fridge. It said, "Your schedule changed." I called the police the next morning. They reviewed the footage. They asked questions. They dusted for prints. They told me something I still don't like thinking about. The man never forced entry. My lock wasn't broken. He had a key.
The building manager insisted no duplicate keys were unaccounted for. The previous tenant had moved out years ago. I changed the locks anyway, installed a deadbolt, stayed with a friend for a week. When I came back, nothing happened. Until I checked my cameras. The hallway camera had been covered. Not damaged, not unplugged. Covered with a piece of paper taped carefully on the lens. On the paper was a single sentence, written neatly. "Next time, don't watch." I moved out that month. I changed my job. I changed my route. I stopped sitting on that bench. Sometimes, though, I still feel it. That sense of being late. Like someone, somewhere, is waiting for me to get back on schedule.